Assalamu alaikum viewers. Today I am going to elaborate the topic of agricultural development of Pakistan according to the syllabus of O levels and IGCSE. First of all, let me tell you what agriculture means. Actually, it is a science or practice of farming, including cultivation of the soil for growing of crops or rearing of animals to provide food, wool, and other products. First of all, let me show you the agricultural procedures. Agriculture procedures, it's a systematic way, and it includes inputs, processes and outputs. First of all, let's see the inputs. First input is the natural input and the other one is the human inputs. Natural inputs include soil. It is an important material in agriculture. It holds plants, and there are different types of soils like porous soil, sandy soil, etc. But the best soil is the loamy soil because it has pore space to retain nutrients. It also contains phosphate and nitrates that help the plants to grow. Then the other natural input is the climate. The climate is a crop requirement, like it's a kharif crop or a rabi crop. It includes various factors like humidity level, rainfall, amount of sunlight, temperature, what kind of crop we can grow in that particular climate. Then let's talk about the human inputs. Human input includes capital, which is called investment or equipment, tractor, harvester, etc. Fertilizers that make soil enriched with nutrients, fulfill the lack of active nutrients that help the plants to grow more effectively. Insecticides, they are sprayed to kill insects which damages the crop, however kills the good insects as well. Labor, which is the human workforce, help in planting and cutting the crops. Seeds, different varieties of seeds like desi seeds, imported seeds, hybrid seeds. We are going to discuss them in detail later on. Desi varieties are widely used by farmers, adapted to the local climate. Low yielding capacity is found in desi varieties. Imported varieties are high yielding capacity, used less because of the high price, and also they are less adaptive to the environment. Then there is a hybrid variety. It is the mixture of above mentioned varieties like desi and imported, and to combine the benefits of both the varieties. So it is normally recommended. Land reforms. Government introduced different land reforms to consolidate the holdings of the farmers, combined small fields in one big economically viable field, improved the work efficiency like that. Bank provided loans on those viable fields. Land is taken away from the landlords and given to poor tenants. Unproductive land was brought into use, and we are going to discuss in much detail later on. Government support means that we're providing interest-free loans so the farmers can buy equipment and seeds. Support price, like the minimum price per kg should be given to the farmer. Irrigation facilities like properly irrigated land, there would be good production. The water from the irrigation canals would be coming to the farmland on the regular basis. Then the processes, if we talk about the processes, there are different processes involved in the agriculture procedures like plugging, sowing, spraying, hoeing. Hoeing means that the weed control using a hoe. Fertilizing, harvesting like the crop cutting. Threshing requires only in grain crops like wheat and rice. They thresh the crop and they take out the grain, and the selling of these products as well. Outputs include food crops, crop wastes and seeds. Now, let me tell you something about the types of farming. Number one farming type is crop farming or arable farming, like the making of the crops. Then we have fruit farming in Pakistan, and then we have livestock farming, which is also called pastoral farm. If we further classify these types of farming, these all types have the subsistence farming and the cash crop or commercial farming. Subsistence farming actually means that the crops are grown to satisfy the needs of the farmers. They grow food to feed their own families only, and they use traditional farming methods like wooden plug, bulls, oxen, Persian wheel for irrigation. They are dependent on rainfall in case barani farming or rain-fed crop farming. They are low fertility because of soil, because of use of wooden plug. Desi seed varieties are used in subsistence farming, and they are affected by variance of the amount of rainfall. Natural manure or animal dung is used as a fertilizer, and it decomposes slowly, so the plants get nutrients very slowly. Plant roots receive less nutrients in longer period of time as compared to the agricultural fertilizers. Hide label is rarely used. If farmer gets sick, there would be no work. More chances to be attacked by the pests or fungus, and there is a very low profit ratio. As compared to cash crop or commercial farming, crops are grown with the purpose of selling them and earn profit. Modern farming methods like modern irrigation methods, perennial canals, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, etc. are used. Imported high yielding variety or genetically modified hybrid seeds are used to get more and good production. Then the question arises that why do certain farmers practice subsistence farming if it has very low profit ratio or almost non-profit ratio, leading to low crop yields. Due to poverty, farmers cannot afford modern machinery and inputs, leading to self-cultivation for food. In Pakistan, small land holdings hinder the adoption of machinery. Illiteracy among farmers contributes to a lack of awareness about modern technology and its benefits. Labor contributed to a farm by unpaid family members, like plugging, watering, sowing the seeds, harvesting, threshing, and weeding, is done by the family itself. Now, if we talk about the types of crops, we have two main types of crops, Kharif crops and Rabi crops. Kharif crops are mostly planted in Pakistan around April to June and harvested in October to November. And the prominent examples of the Kharif crops are rice, pulses, cotton, sugarcane, millet, soybean. It requires high temperature, about 25 to 40 Celsius degrees for their growth and harvest. It requires a dry season to harvest. Rabi crops, on the other hand, planted around November and December. It is harvested in April and May, requires moderate temperature like 15 to 35 Celsius degrees for their growth and harvest. Moderate water is required, and prominent examples are wheat, maize, pulses, oilseeds, etc. Now, there is another type of crops which are called zaid crops. Zaid crops are short duration crops cultivated between the Kharif and Rabi seasons, usually during summers, grown in regions with suitable temperatures and irrigation facilities, and the examples are watermelon, cucumbers, muskmelon, and bitter gourd. Now we are going to read about the main crops of Pakistan. The first main crop of Pakistan is wheat. Wheat is a rabi crop. It is planted in mid-November and December, harvested around April to May, and it is the main staple food of Pakistan. On the screen, you can see the main growing areas of the wheat, which are comprised of upper and lower Indus Plain areas mostly. Now, if we talk about the geographical, the main areas, the part of upper and lower Indus Plain, the Sirabad and Jafrabad districts, and the valley areas of KPK, Bannu and Peshawar are the main areas. If we talk about the geographical requirements, it requires mild temperature from 15 to 25 Celsius degrees. It requires moderate rain, usually from western depressions. A little shower can swell the grain and improves the yield. It requires regular need of irrigation. It requires stiff, loamy soil. High yielding variety of wheat seeds are Shahhan, Maxipac, Kohsan, and Wadnak. Now, If we talk about the processes of wheat cultivation, first process is sowing the seed. Sowing temperature should be 4 to 25 Celsius degrees. Seed must be chemically treated to avoid any borne diseases. Seed must be sown with driller to ensure the uniform depth. Sowing must be done immediately after the rain caused by the western depressions to maintain soil moisture. Growth basically means that the temperature requirement during growth is should be 15 to 30 Celsius. Weeds should be removed manually. Irrigation cycle should be of 20 days. Insecticides and fertilizers should be applied. Now, if we talk about the harvesting of the wheat, temperature requirement is 35 to 38 Celsius degrees, yeah, like sunny conditions. And wheat crop is ready to be harvested when its stem becomes golden brown and with a height of almost 4 feet. Grain becomes swell and hard. Harvest must be carried out before the thunderstorms in March and April. Strong winds can break the stem and expose the grain, causing huge loss to the farmer. There is another method which is called Barani method of growing wheat. It means growing wheat in the rain-fed conditions. It is a small-scale subsistence farming. Sowing crop in early winter like October-December. Crops grows gradually with increased rainfall through the western depressions. It requires mild temperatures with higher rainfall and the grain begins to swell after that. And the farmers store the rainwater for irrigation in different ponds, and with gradual increase in temperature, crop ripen up and harvested in April to May, like in early summers or spring season. But if there is no rain, there will be no Barani farming. Now, if we talk about the uses of the wheat crop, the wheat grains fly to the domestic and international market. The grains are stored by the farmers for their needs. Now, the next important uh, crop of main crops of Pakistan is rice. If we talk about the cultivation areas, you can also see that the areas which has the higher rainfall level and the areas of Upper Punjab and the areas of northern Sindh are the particularly areas where the rice fields are there. And if we talk about the geographical requirements, it requires loamy soil with a layer of non-porous and subsoil to retain water. It requires heavy rain up to 2000 millimeters. Regular irrigation is required and temperature requirement is 20 to 30 Celsius degrees, like the Sindh district, Larkana and Dadu, and in Punjab district, Sheikhupura, Sialkot and Gujranwala are the basic main important areas. If we talk about the human input, canal irrigation for seed sowing is very important. Spraying insecticides and pesticides is very important. Adding fertilizers is very important for the better, um, yield of the rice. If we talk about the high yield varieties of rice, Basmati Super, Rachna, Pajal, Iripak are the main rice varieties. If we talk about the cultivation process, first of all, there is a preparation. You have to prepare the crop field. Rice seeds are planted in flooded nurseries with uniform depth and it kept in controlled temperatures. Transplanted in the fields after 25 days. Seeds must be treated with chemical to prevent against seed-borne diseases before transplantation. Then the sowing or transplantation happens. It requires temperature from 30 to 35 Celsius degrees during transplantation, and thoroughly plugged land with already removed weeds is required. And plant seeds is in already irrigated field and then flooded to the depth of 30 to 37 centimeters. If we talk about the growth, the temperature requirement during the growth is 38 to 40 Celsius degrees. Rice fields must be kept flooded all along the growth. Fertilizers and insecticides may be applied. If we talk about harvest, how to harvest rice, temperature requirements during the harvest must be from 30 to 32 Celsius degrees, and the weather must be dry and sunny. The fields are drained when airheads start to show a golden color. When the airheads become golden and hard due to the weather, harvesting can be done. Harvesting is done both manually and by machine. Grain is separated from husk by threshing it. If we talk about the output uses, rice grain is supplied to the mills for polishing and packing, polished grain supplied to the domestic consumers and markets, and second largest staple food is rice in Pakistan. If we talk about the uses of husk, the rice husk, it is used for animal fodder, making mud roofs, and supplied to the factories for making cardboards. Even the uses of wheat husk is the same. Now the third important crop is cotton. It is known as the king of fiber and is mostly common used fiber in the textile industry of Pakistan. If we talk about the areas of cultivation, you can see on the screen that the areas are in the southern Punjab, central and southern Punjab, like Faisalabad, Khanewal, Bahawalpur, Bahawalnagar, Multan, and in Sindh, Sangar and Nawabshah are the main regions. And there is a newly discovered area, Lasbela, in Balochistan as well. But over there, the cotton is, grown in a very small number. If we talk about the geographical requirements, medium or loamy soil is required. Chemical fertilizers and manure is the ultimate requirement for the cotton crop. Requires 25 to Celsius, 35 Celsius degrees. It is very sensitive to frost and requires plenty of rain, about 1000 millimeters, frequent showers with sunny intervals. It requires irrigation is required in the case of less rainfall. And if we talk about the human inputs, plugging and harvesting equipment, labor for hand picking of cotton, usually women are employed, chemical fertilizers are sprayed, genetically modified seeds are used, automatic cotton picking machines, which are uncommon in Pakistan, but they are used. High yield varieties of cotton seeds are Nayab 78 and 86, Sarmast Kalandri, MNH 93, Delta Pine, or B557. Now, if we talk about the process of cultivation, how we sow the seed of cotton, the temperature requirement is 25 to 30 Celsius degrees. Seeds must be chemically treated to prevent seed-borne diseases before sowing the seed. Seed must be sown with a driller to ensure a uniform depth of all sowed seeds, to ensure that the plants reach stage of harvest at the same time. This is so because if the seed is sown too deep, it won't germinate, and if it is even even does so, then its growth would be slow or stuck. Sowing must be done in accordance to rain or immediately after it to take advantage of any moisture left in the soil. If we talk about the growth, temperature during growth must be from 25 to 40 Celsius. Irrigations must be done in spells. First spell after 1 month, second irrigation after another 2 months, and weeds are removed by hand when needed. Size of cotton balls depend on the variety of the seeds and use of fertilizers. Chemical spray is done after crop maturation. And if we talk about the harvest of the cotton crop, temperature should be 30 to 32 Celsius degrees. Harvesting is carried out when the balls become dry and fully opened. First picking in almost 120 days, second in 140 days, and third picking should be in 160 days. The diseases damaged balls are kept separate from the fine quality balls. After picking up the balls, they are transported to the ginning mills. Ginning is actually a procedure in which we separate the seed from the lint of like the white fluffy mask. We separate the seed from it. Seeds are kept for the next crop or used in extraction of oil for the animal feed. Lint is sent in the form of cotton bales to the yarn mill for making cotton yarn. If we talk about the output of uses or outputs, the output uses are the cotton yarn is made by spinning the lint fibers. Cotton cloth is made in the textile mills after the processing of weaving, and cotton fabric is used to make bed linen, cotton clothing, furnishing fabrics, and ready-made garments. And the last main crop of Pakistan is sugarcane. It is one of the most important and widely used crop of Pakistan. It is used to make sugar, brown sugar, and gur. It is a kharif crop and is planted in April to June and harvested in October to November. You can see on the screen the main growing areas of the cultivation areas of sugarcane. There are several parts of Punjab like Kasur, Okara, Faisalabad and Rohingya Khan, in Sindh, Nawabshah, Nusherof and Hyderabad, and in KPK, Peshawar and Madran are the main cultivation areas. If we talk about the geographical requirements of sugarcane, it requires medium clayey and loamy soil, needs a lot of fertilization like cotton, and natural manure and potash rich fertilizers as well. Temperature requirement is 25 to 35 Celsius degrees. It requires heavy rain. Constant irrigation is required in case of less rainfall. Genetically modified seeds are used. Chemical sprays should be done for better yields. If we talk about the processes of cultivation, there is a plantation process is used. What is a plantation process? It requires temperature during the plantation should be 30 to 35 Celsius degrees. After plugging, 30 centimeter tall stalks are planted with a distance of 30 centimeters in between two stalks, not deeper than 4 inches. So about 20 to 25 irrigation spells should be there, and natural manure and potash rich fertilizers should be given. Sprays of insecticides and pesticides should be done. So this is how it is planted. Then if we talk about the growth, temperature during growth must be from 38 to 40 Celsius degrees. Irrigation must be carried out with 10 to 12 days interval. Weeds are removed manually when required. Fertilizers and insecticides may be applied. If we talk about the harvest, temperature during harvest must be from 30 to 32 Celsius degrees. Harvesting is carried out when the stem becomes hard and cane is 6 to 7 feet tall. Retooning is done. Retooning means the plantation, the cutting that can thing, which I have just told you. Dirt and smell can be removed with the use of chalk, and bundles of stalks are transported quickly to the sugar mill because it is a bulky crop and it loses its weight quickly and it dries up, which affects the quality and quantity of the sugar. If we talk about the high yield varieties of sugarcane, it is 1-3 Theta -10, JN88, BR 1000, Trenton, Mardan 92, and Banu 1. The byproducts of sugarcane are very important. They are baggies, molasses, and press mud. Baggies is the fibrous residue remaining after the extracting juice from the sugarcane used for paper and fuel production. Molasses is a thick, dark syrup produced during sugar extraction, often used in food and alcohol production. And pressed mud is as residue obtained after sugarcane juice clarification, used as a soil conditioner. So it is a zero waste energy. So I am going to end this presentation over here, and I am going to cover other crops and other types of farming in the next video. Do subscribe my channel, do like and share the videos. Thank you so much.